So, if you were at the Leamington Food and Drink Festival, one of the things you might have done was to have a little sip of gin there, courtesy of the Warwickshire Gin Company. And so I'm down here under the arches at the bottom of town in that very establishment, sitting on a very comfy, cosy chair, looking at some distilling equipment, and sat next to Dave Blick, who is the founder of the company and chief distiller and driver and marketer and lots of other things as well. Dave, welcome to Life and Lem.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. So I'm sat here. It's got lots of lovely cosy chairs on it, lots of bottles on the wall, a bit of equipment, a little bit of a bar, lots of glassware, and so a very comforting environment. And you do absolutely get a little bit of a sense of gin and alcohol on the air just sitting here. Dave, how did you get into the gin business?
Well, I kind of sold a business 2018. Didn't know what I was going to do in my life, and obviously I like gin. And I've always lived in the area since I was early 20s, which is a long time ago now, and love all the local history, and particularly the story of the elephants that used to live in town. And I thought, because they were from Sri Lanka, and I thought we could get flavours from Sri Lanka, make a gin, put the elephants on a bottle, tell the story, be really cool. But a big problem with that business plan at the time is I didn't know how to make gin. So I kind of just parked the idea in my head, and then I was in Tenby in Wales, and this guy had got a gin shop, so obviously I drifted towards it, went in. He got loads of different gins from all over, and then he'd got his own gin, Tenby gin. So I was chatting away, and he was giving out samples, and it was really nice. I was like, "Oh, do you make this?" And he was like, "Oh no, bloke down the road does it." I was like, "Right." So then, like, the light bulb went off, and I phoned up bloke down the road. His name was Alex, and then told him about my idea and would he work with me, and then so we ended up working with this guy Alex for about 18 months. We developed 3 gin profile flavours with him. Made the first few batches. We sold those at like the Leamington market and then local shops and stuff. And it went really well. And then with that, I got to a point I was like, right, well, we're going to have to make a decision and make a step and then go for it and like get our own still and do everything in Leamington, which would be cool. And so, that's what we did. We got the keys for the distillery just in time for a pandemic. But actually the first thing we made in Leamington was 6,500 litres of hand sanitizer. Bumbled on for a couple of years, wasn't great. And then, so the last sort of 2 years have been a lot better. We've been able to expand our experiences at a distillery, which we'll probably talk about a bit more, but then we've sort of expanded the range, so we've got 6 gins, 3 rums, a vodka.
Wow, so we're looking at quite a comprehensive catalogue of drink here, but I guess it's the gins and the gins with some local connection that are almost your signature product. So tell us a little about one or two of those then, perhaps, Dave.
My favourite story is Pelota, but the first one obviously is the Leamington on Parade, which is our ode to Sam Lockhart and the 3 Graces, so Hadi, Trilby and Wilhelmina. And because they were from Sri Lanka, that's where we get the flavours from. So cinnamon, hibiscus, Ceylon tea, black tea, chili and gingers in that gin, and we distill we distill all that together to produce that gin. That's definitely our most popular product, and it's a solid gin. It works with, I like it with a Mediterranean tonic and a slice of lime. But and then Pelota, which is the story about Juan Pereira and the first tennis club in the world, which is obviously Leamington Spa. I don't think we make a big enough deal about it. I'd like to see a giant tennis ball on one of the roundabouts in town somewhere. But that because Juan Pereira is a Spanish merchant, we've got an orange citrus gin there, and that's a really lovely sort of summery kind of gin and tonic as well. So they're my personal favourites, and then I have to mention the rum as well, which is obviously I'm really proud of that one. So the spice rum's really good, and that's in honour of Randolph Turpin and his heritage, his British Guianan heritage, where we get the base spirit from and then put our Leamington spin on it.
And I see you've got a Randolph Turpin. I don't know if it's a shrine or just a display.
Yeah. Well, it it came up. It was in the press locally a couple of years ago. One of the girls that works for me, Olivia, saw that his gloves. They weren't the gloves that he fought with. He trained with those gloves, and then it's in a lovely case with the ticket for his fight against Sugar Ray Robinson, and a signed photo of Randolph as well, a handsome young man, and the programme, and it looks really cool. And I thought, oh well, I'll bid for that. I'd got a price I was willing to go to, and I thought, it looked really good in the distillery. I was the only bidder. Wow. I know, it was.
That's tragic, actually. Isn't it?
It is, because I don't think people, understand how iconic he was. He's the first British black champion of anything. We should laud him more. He's trailblazer.
So, Dave, we're sat looking at this fabulous equipment of yours, if I can put it that way. There's a still, I guess there's a condenser, there's all sorts of other good stuff there. How on earth do you go about procuring and setting up a distillery with you? And I guess there's all sorts of paperwork you have to go through as well. Yeah.
So, obviously, this guy, Alex, he was basically a consultant for me, really. So, I know how to drink and what I like. So developing the flavours was pretty easy initially, because I said, oh yeah, I like that one, don't like that one. And then I literally bought the same equipment that he was using. So I didn't want to break that recipe, because obviously if you're using different equipment, it might alter the product. So yeah, bought exactly the same equipment and went from there, really. So I did have a helping hand, but obviously now we're developing our own products. We kind of do that on our own now.
And so how often do you brew up a batch?
Not as much as you would think. We probably did about 15 batches last year, 200 litres a batch. Kind of made a conscious decision not to compete with the big boys on trade pricing and stuff, because the margin is just so small that it really, it doesn't even cover my car parking in town. So we leave that kind of to the big boys. So social media and brand awareness and those kind of things are how we get our message out there.
So if someone wanted to buy a bottle of your hooch, where would they do that?
We've got a number of local retailers, so Farmers Fair, Malt Kiln, a lot of the kind of like Hilltop Farm, so the village stores kind of places. Then we're in town, Decanters, a big retailer of ours, and then obviously online we do a lot of direct deliveries to customers that purchase products online.
But there's another way, isn't there, to taste your fare, and that's to come and do one of the tastings here. Tell us about those.
Yep. So the most popular experience that we operate is the gin tasting experience. So we do that on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And
you must have a thick head by the end of all that.
To be fair, it's really good fun, because they're generally mixed groups. People don't know what to expect when they first come here. Is it a factory? Is it a bar? But obviously we've got quite a cool setup, and people get relaxed with obviously the more drink that they have. But essentially we give everybody a welcome drink. Then we run through all the stories and the history behind the flavour profiles. We group them in pairs. And then once they've decided the first pair which one they want, we trot off, make them a gin and tonic, then repeat that process again, then repeat that process again. So, and by the time they're well lubricated, and we ask them how many pallets of gin they want to buy.
And get their credit cards in advance.
But we do operate, so in the last sort of 2 years we also extended that, so we've got two more experiences. So we have afternoon G&T, we call it, and cocktails at a distillery, and those are less sort of interactive. They're more for people to come in, enjoy the space, unhassled, sit down, table service, and just enjoy the space, really.
Lovely. And just to give you a scale, this isn't a huge factory. We are under one of the railway arches, so that gives you a sense of the scale. How many people do you tend to get in one of your sessions?
On the gin and the cocktails, we limit it to 12. We do have some private sessions where we can expand that, because people, we like to give people enough private space because they are mixed groups. So 12 on the gin and the cocktails, and then afternoon tea is just 10. So we do 20 covers a week. So yeah, it's just nice and compact, and we offer that really kind of like personal service, so people can come in and just relax really, and it's just something different.
I think it's fantastic because you've got some interesting different gins and other products here as well. They get to chat with you, of course, Dave, as the master distiller here as well, so they understand the process. And I guess they get to meet some other gin enthusiasts, or at least gin curious people around as well, which is a lovely social atmosphere as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we get people from all over the world. I mean, we've got the map behind us there. So we've had people from New Zealand, Australia, Venezuela, Peru. That's quite a cool one. Mexico, America, Canada, South Africa. Yeah, it's fabulous, and I think last year we had about 3,700 people visit us. Total numbers now, we're over 10,000 in the last few years. So we're bringing people into Leamington. They're staying in hotels locally. They're using the local restaurants and bars. So it's just nice to be able to contribute to our local economy and we're the number one thing to do on TripAdvisor. I don't like to brag, but
that's the amazing thing about the internet, isn't it? It brings people from around the world that suddenly go, I'm curious to see this. And I guess that's if someone wants to book one of these experiences, that's where they go, website.
Yeah.
And I guess you don't necessarily just have to book a visit to one of the experiences. If you're struggling to think for Christmas gifts, what Santa might want to go, I guess you can buy them for someone else.
Yeah. I mean, gifting the experiences is a massive. I think as you get older as well, you don't want things cluttering the house up. So to give people food and drink is good because they generally disappear. But also, it's just a lovely experience. So and we've had people come multiple times as well. There's one couple I know that have been to 15 different experiences, bringing different groups of friends. Different members of their families.
Sounds like they've got a problem to be actually.
It's not in a short period of time. That's over. That's over like 4 years. So but we do get people coming multiple times. Yeah.
And so you've got a terrific setup here, very comfortable, as I said, and it's really interesting to be able to see the equipment where the gin and the other spirits are distilled. What's next, do you think, for Warwickshire Gin Company?
We may bring out a one-off gin at Christmas. I'm thinking about doing another flavour. So just to give some of our regular customers something to purchase for something different for Christmas, really.
So certainly stuff to keep an eye on, both on the website and on socials. But in the meantime, Dave, thank you very much for giving us a little insight into what you do here. Cheers.
Pleasure. Thank you very much, Tim.